Welcome back to What Theory with your man Joel. I'm Joel. Before I forget, like, subscribe, share, all those things to make the algorithm happy. Because then I want your desire to fulfill my desire. I want your adoration to make me feel whole and complete. This is the discussion of Lacanian psychotherapy and psychoanalysis. And in particular, I wanted to touch on the connection between the injunction, the requirement that we hear for us to be ourselves, and how that is now incorporated into marketing and the consumption of products. The three registers are the imaginary, the symbolic, and the real. The imaginary are just the images. It's not imagined in terms of fantasies, but it is the images that we associate and use to signify success, wealth, even negative things like, not being fulfilled. Whenever you close your eyes and imagine something, you have a sort of picture of yourself as a successful person. And typically when you're doing that, you have an idealized version of who you are that you then project into the future along with other objects. So for me, for instance, I used to drive a very shitty RAV4, and eventually I got a German car. Now, before I got that car, I was always thinking to myself, when I get that car, I'm going to be a boss. I'm going to be moving and everything is going to be fine. So I projected myself with the car and I was happy. I thought it would give me fulfillment. But I'm still the same person with the car. Now that same desire, I caught myself at some point looking at my car. It doesn't have the insignia. So I know it's a VW. I know it's a good car. But still there's the brand item, there is the status, which made me think that there's a part of me that wanted that car, not because of how good it is, but because I wanted to be seen as someone who's driving that kind of car. And once I made that shift, it was getting me closer to the understanding of the difference between the object of my desire, which was the car, and the object cause of my desire, which was if I feel that people see me as complete, perhaps I will be complete. If I am seen as successful, perhaps then I will be successful. Remove the perhaps. Usually your mind is just operating on, once I get this thing, then I'll be whole. So that's the imaginary. There's the symbolic. The symbolic is, the things that give us meaning. Children, animals can't signify. So when someone dresses a certain way, someone speaks a certain way, we all at a level understand that this person is signifying either wealth, power, status, whatever the case may be. The unconscious is sort of structured as a language. That's how Lacan talks about it. So with those languages of the symbolic, you're trying to find a means of, showing to yourself that you are successful, along with showing to other people that you're successful. And then there's the real. The real is when all of that breaks apart and you have real contact with the world, where there is no meaning, there is no mediation, there is no in-between to allow you to interpret all the events that happen to you. And you don't want to get in touch with the real, trust me. It's when you stare into the abyss, it really can stare back into you and change you. So for today, I want to break down how, if you watch different television ads, if you're probably even getting an ad while you're watching this, you'll notice there's been a shift from advertising just the product, but they provide images of people who are happy or people who are sort of fulfilled while using the product. They might not even tell you the things about the product. They're telling you in actual sense that you feel that incompleteness. You feel at the base of you that something is always missing. But if you consume this product, you're going to be much better off. And anyone who's worked in the business world will tell you that any problem without a solution is probably the most profitable thing in the world. Now think of the most profitable companies right now. Most of them are data companies, and they're companies that allow you to share your images. They allow you to arouse in other people that sense of desire. Now, when I talk about desire, desire is a fundamental lack within us. It is saying that there's a part of me that is empty. I need something external to myself to make me feel complete. That's where the object cause of desire comes in. You're trying to fill that hole, and so you start consuming different objects. Your imaginary and symbolic keep moving from one item to another, saying when Your marriage, you're going to be fully happy. But in your marriage, if you keep working on it and you have desire, you're going to be much happier. When you have kids, you're going to be much happier. When you guys retire, like it just keeps going until you reach the grave. And I think all of us are sort of not admitting that you just remain on the cycle completely, that you're never going to fully be yourself. When you think of being yourself, you think about you in the future with other objects, and you objectify yourself, you objectify your idealized I. When you look at, say, a celebrity, when we watch people, say, on Instagram, we don't get to see fully what they are feeling. We only see a mediated version of them. And the dangerous thing about it, I think, is that celebrity, popularity is a means of consuming the desires of other people, trying to fill your own desire. But like we spoke about, desire is not a thing. It is a lack. It is a substantial lack. So effectively what you're doing is you're creating the feeling, you're influencing other people to think that if they were to become more like you, they would be as happy as you are. But your happiness is predicated on you consuming the desires of other people. So it becomes this cycle in which now all of us either have to become super famous, super notable in order for us to be complete, which then renders it non-significant. You want to be significant so that you stand out from other people. But I mean, imagine when you see like a celebrity kill themselves or a celebrity talk about being unhappy. There is a distaste that we have for that because we say, how can you be unhappy? You have everything. I believe if I had, I would be happy. I believe if I had access to the things that you have, I would be complete. Then someone gets there and says, well, it's not really fulfilling. I personally think that that is probably more hellish than lacking. So let's say you're working to get somewhere and you don't have material goods. Your desires are within reach. The object cause of desire will land on objects like I want to have a new house, or I just want to have a living wage, all things which are very valid. I'm not saying that they're not valid. I'm saying that the fact that they're within reach, at least you know what you're looking for. At a point where material things then start to become ubiquitous for you, if you're quite wealthy, you then come up to a real problem because there is only so much you can now consume that will make you feel complete. You start to consume other people. You start to consume things that are a little odd. All of us know about, those movies where you have people in masks doing all kinds of rituals in the forest. Like that's the point that you reach. In fact, talking about that, there's a movie Eyes Wide Shut that Tom Cruise did. And Tom Cruise is fascinating to me because he's been famous for decades. And he eventually became a Scientologist. And my view on that is he needed something even higher than his peers. They say never meet your heroes. You meet your heroes and realize they are no greater than you. They are also struggling to find out who they are. They're struggling to maintain this fiction that they can be their true selves. And you thought that they had all the answers, but they really don't. Now, advertising is all about telling you that if you consume our products, you will be yourself. So you move from Coca-Cola to Pepsi, you move from Apple to Android. You can utilize those things by consuming to make yourself more and more of your idealized I. But the more you run after them, the more you realize that it keeps shifting. And I guess my request, my sort of way of saying sane is don't think that anything can ever complete you, because what you call completion is not possible. All you can do is rest in the fact that we all live fundamentally as open subjects. We are not defined and enclosed and self-referential and becoming complete within this world. We will always be open, we'll always be vulnerable, and we'll always feel like something is missing. But if we all feel that way, perhaps it's not something for us to sort of get rid of, but something that we can mediate, something that we can sort of jointly understand that is a fundamental feature of being human in this world. Thank you so much, and hope you will check out more Lacanian psychoanalysis. I'm going to be doing another one in which I'll be talking specifically around those registers and how you can sort of look within yourself about authenticity and all of that. That's my timer. I'm out.